Hello guys, today we'll be going over another FPS tutorial framework thing. I haven't went on this topic for a while, probably like the last time I did it was quite a while ago, I think 3 or 2 months ago, but we're back and we're going to make episode 4. But anyways, let's get started. So I think in the last video I said we would work on shooting because if we play the game here and if we just wait for this to load. Okay, here, and what was the activate key? Oh yeah, is that if we activate our view model, as you can see, even though it's pretty cool and all, it doesn't shoot, which makes it kind of boring. So today, in today's tutorial, we'll be working on making it shoot, so it looks just a tad bit more interesting than it originally was. So yeah, so let's start working on that. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to need to detect when the player clicks. So we're going to just create a variable, and this will be clicked down. We'll just set this for false to now, and this will actually help us to detect if the mouse is clicked down. Also, just set this variable to nil. I'm sorry that I set it to that. Your code should still work. It's just sometimes Roblox puts an annoying error, so just set it like this. So now once we have that, so now we actually need to detect input from this. So what we need to do, now if you watched my tool tutorial, you might thinking we might have to get the input through a tool if you don't know the mouse object. Well, actually, you probably do know the mouse object. I think we actually went over it in the tool tutorial, but that is important. What is important is that we need to use this object. So we need to type in mouse.button, button 1 down, connect, and then we need to put the clicked down variable to true. But we're not done yet, because once we click, the click down variable will equal to true forever unless we change it. So we need to detect when the player stops clicking, and we can easily do that by just typing in mouse button 2 up, button 1 up, connect, and then we can set click down to false. Okay, so once we have our click down variable, we can detect shooting. So what we need to do is basically what we'll do is we'll make a function, and this is called shoot. And in this function, we'll make a fire rate variable. So first of all, let's just make a fire rate variable, local fire rate. We'll just set it to that for now. I'll also add a new animation, and this is the recoil animation. It's basically like a shoot animation kind of thing. So we're just making the variable for it, cframe.new, and let's go here and let's add that cframe, recoil animation, recoil cframe. Okay, so now once we have a shoot function, we can create, we can detect if mouse down, what was it called again? Down, mouse, here, check, click down. If click down, then I'll just put a else, just in case we do need to, probably are. If click down, then shoot. Now, in this, we'll have to specify the fire rate. Well, actually, no. What we need to do, if click down, we need to activate our shoot function. Now, at first, it may seem like this will work, but there's a problem. So, since this run service loop runs really fast, it like runs every single frame of the game. Since it runs really fast, it will execute this function super fast. And what we need to do is we need to add a cooldown. So instead of just spazzing the weapon out and shooting like tons of bullets at the same time, we need to add a little cooldown. Now, if this is going to be an automatic gun, obviously the cooldown is going to be very small. So let's make another variable, and this will be called shooting cooldown. Shooting cooldown. Let's just make this something really low. Maybe that will do. Actually, 7. Okay, yeah, that should be good. Okay, so here we can also make a recoil animation work. So we can type in recoil C-frame equals to recoil C-frame lerp C-frame dot angles. And then we can just play around with this value. So if you want, you can play around with it. I am going to definitely play around with it. Recoil C-frame lerp C-frame dot no, this has to be C-frame dot new. Okay, so in this, what we'll do in our shoot function is that whenever the shoot function, okay, here let's make a new variable, and this will be called shooting. And we'll just make this false for now. And then inside our shoot function, what we'll do is we'll set if shooting equals to false, and not function, false, then shooting equals to true, and then we can execute our whatever our code is. So for now we'll just leave it like that, and then we'll wait shooting cooldown. Shooting equals to false. So we can try to run this. And if we press E, it does work. It does play the animation. It's just the animation's really strange. So let's fix that a bit. So you can play around with the value. So yeah, let's here. So here. So let's make that, and we can try different values, and it'll rotate our framework. I mean our gun or whatever into different directions. I don't know what direction. I think that's might what we want. I think make 2. Yeah, no, that's not what we want. We can do maybe like half of 1. Okay, so that's sort of what we want. You can play around with this value. If you want, you can follow me. Trying to figure out what good value I should send it to. We can also actually add a little offset there to the player's position. So not only their rotation, but their position to make it feel a bit more real. So yeah, now we have a shooting animation. But right now our shooting animation looks really weird. There's no sound, and it just looks really unrealistic. So let's improve that. So the first thing we want to do is kind of give out like a spazzing kind of feeling. So instead of just kind of rotating, we want to give like a pew pew pew, like your gun is actually kind of moving, like a spazzing, fast sort of feeling. We can actually speed up animations. So whenever we lerp animations, we always make it equal to the animation itself, and then we just lerp it. But every time we lerped, we put in the C frame, and then we put in this extra value, which is always set to 0.1. Now lerp, if you just would execute this in no type of loop like this render step run, it would just kind of seem like it just teleported the view model in a certain angle. But the reason why it doesn't, it looks like an actual fluid animation, is because we're doing it every frame. So every frame we're moving it around, which makes it look like an actual like fluid actual motion. And this 0.1 value means move 0.1 of this value. So if we were to put this to 1, we would get a much bigger and surprising result. We're basically taking the C-frame value and then I guess sort of dividing it by 0.1. It's kind of confusing to explain, but we can actually speed up our animations if we make this 0.1 value bigger. So we can actually use this technique to make animations feel like more spazzing out kind of stuff. So let's make that to 0.2, and then we can wait a extremely small amount of time, and then we can move it to a new location even faster, which will look like will give like a spazzing out kind of feeling. That'll make it really cool. So we can make this like 4, and then we can give out another we can change out some other values, and this will give it a sort of a spazzing feeling. So instead of just being like just rotating it back there, give it like a spazzing feeling. So let's run this. Yeah, this is kind of what we're aiming for. Not exactly, but is sort of what we're aiming for here. Like, it's something glitchy and spazzy and kind of weird. We can do math.random -1, no, minus 0.2 to 0.2. No, 0.4. Yes, I'm pretty sure we should also make it a bit lower on the rotation. Yeah. And then I can run this, and voila, we can get like some sort of spazzing out feeling. We can also give it more interesting animations. Let's get that. And we can start changing around random values. At this point, I'm not even looking on what value I'm changing. I'm just changing whatever value. We can make animations fast, and this will give sort of like a spazzing out feeling, like kind of like that feeling. And yeah, now we have some kind of shooting and spazzing out feeling. So now it feels pretty good. So yeah. Now we just give it a bit of sound and lighting effects. Now, this video is probably very long, and sound and lighting effects are gonna also take a bit of time. So I'm afraid that'll be it for this video. Bye guys, and I'll see you in the next FPS framework tutorial.